Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he was out for Juneteenth. He looks like a zombie. I think they're planning on replacing him. They're going to do an old switcheroo. The talks in the street, in the political street, they're saying that they're going to wait to this debate so he could, I guess, lose because if he's going to debate with somebody with coherency, he's not going to be able to debate him because he's like a zombie right now. So they're talking about they might do a switcheroo. I don't know who they're going to get as his replacement, but it's not looking good for Joe Biden. He's failing in the polls. It looks horrible for him. Then Donald Trump, he was here in Detroit yesterday, so we're going to cover that. And we got some other little tidbits I want to talk about Tiffany Henyard and Chicago. Okay, so let's get started. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bap. What? This is what you call a bap. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bap. What? This is what you call a bap. You guys put it in chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Today, I do not have Chawanne Burns 2.0 unpopular opinion streaming from this platform. I was notified by YouTube that allegedly I cannot do stream from both platforms at the same time. So I'm trying to work it out in my brain. I think on my unpopular opinion channel is a more political channel. I think I'm not going to sign up for the YouTube monetization program only because I think it allows YouTube to hold too much over your head, and I don't want. You're not going to tell me what I could talk about and when I could talk about it. That's just my own personal opinion. So I believe I'm going to, for people to support the channel, they could always sign up for channel membership. But I think I'm going to put that off on another platform and we'll have some perks and stuff like that. Anywho, so we're not streaming from Chawanne Burns 2.0 right now. I will still post content on there on a regular basis. It's just, it cannot be a regurgitated content that I post on this channel. So let's see who we have in the building. We have Muata from Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you for tuning in. You guys, put in the chat and let me know where you're viewing from. Our first story of the hour, I think it's hilarious. I think this story is hilarious. I want to talk about Tiffany Henyard and her goons. Tiffany Henyard is literally robbing the taxpayers of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton. She's actually robbing people to pay, pad her own pocket and pay the people who she think that has her back, right? And it's hilarious that I came across this on the Dalton politics page, this Dalton politics page, and somebody posted that Lacey Lewis, this is the captain or acting chief of the village of Dalton. He filed for bankruptcy last year. This is before he actually received his promotion. But yeah, he filed for bankruptcy last year, and it was discharged or dissolved, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's pretty hilarious that you have all these people. Tiffany is patting their pocket and they cannot manage their own finances. Lacey Lewis, he had an extensive amount that he owed on his bankruptcy. And to me, it's kind of crazy. He owed a lot of people. Um, they dismissed this case. They said it was dismissed. It was filed in 2020, and they dismissed it on January 2023. I'm assuming, I think he filed Chapter 13. I'm not going to bring up the original case, only because it has his information on there, and I don't want his information to be doxxed. But he owes a lot of people, or he owed a lot of people, and it looks like Bank of America, a lot of banks, Citibank, um, just a astronomical amount of people that he owed. And like I said, I think it's hilarious because in one hand, you're doing all these illegal activities for a person, and they supposed to be padding your pocket, and you can't even afford, or no, you can't even manage to pay your bills. To me, it's unreal. You can't manage to pay your own bills. It's unreal. And I guess he settled. I'm assuming he settled for this $23,000 to, I guess, settle with the creditors. I'm assuming that these other debts was not included in the bankruptcy, like these Penny Mac loan services. Um, that this is just an assumption because they got principal paid uh, for these secured debt. So, and I'm assuming these are mortgages. These larger amounts. So they're probably for his house or something like that. But anyway, you have all these people that supports Tiffany, and they have problems with credit. And remember, if you recall, Lacey Lewis, Chief Lacey, he tried to get back with Jason House in regards to the cars being repoed. And he said, I know the ones you're talking about because no, those are paid. Like he actually knew they were paid, like he actually take care of the bills. But that number one, that's not your department. And then number two, you can't pay your own bills. You can't pay your own bills. So it's like you're acting as if that you act like you pay your bills on time, and you don't. So like I said, he has a lot of debt, or had a lot of debt, and I believe they decided to settle on this debt. Okay. And it looks like he settled for the amount of $23,000 and some odd change that was dispersed to all the creditors. That's what this is the final summary of his bankruptcy. And you see that he has some mortgages. He had some back payments that was missing, $2,800 that he didn't pay in arrears. So I don't know if his house ever got foreclosed on, but what are you guys doing? You can't manage your own life. And a lot of times at jobs, when you get hired for like higher positions, even in engineering companies, or if you're trying to apply for an engineering job, they'll pull your credit because they more likely you'll have access to the company credit card. They want to see, okay, can you manage your own finances correctly? Why would we give you the company credit card? And I think this is a problem with Tiffany's administration. They can't even manage their own life, let alone somebody else's. Anywho, I thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny. Um, let's see. I see we got Lexi in the building. Good afternoon, Lexi. Thank you to all my mods. Styled by Miss Bobby from Baltimore. And we have Capri Airlines from Toronto, Ontario. Spit it out.
To wash our dishes, or just wash all the dishes.
I told you to wash dry and put them up, you guys. Dry all the dishes and put them up. Close my door. I'm telling you, boys. Why wouldn't you wash all the dishes? Why wouldn't you dry all the dishes? Just go wash one fork. Come on now. This is the joys of motherhood. Okay, I have. Let's go to our next story. I was talking about this yesterday. You guys, I was preaching this about this yesterday. The Democratic Party, they're going to start saying, "Oh, we're going to look into reparations. Vote for us." Now, Brandon Johnson, he's leading the charge. He was just, he gave a speech at, I guess, this Juneteenth event. And he signed an executive order for reparations. I'm laughing because it sounds ridiculous. And I said this yesterday. I literally said this yesterday. I said this yesterday that Democrats, for them to get your vote, they're going to start talking about reparations and what they could do for you. You know, they just dangle this carrot stick and say, "Oh, we're gonna sign this reparation bill." Before I show you this reparation, I guess, memorandum or executive order that Mayor Brandon Johnson put in place, he gave this speech, and people kind of tore into it because they didn't like the way he came across. They said it was real divisive. So this like, it's an 8-minute speech, but it's only a 2-minute snippet of it.
Through black neighborhoods, Chicago still bears the scars of systemic racism and injustices that have been inflicted on our communities. We've seen them in highways that cut through black neighborhoods, and the industries, of course, that flock to these neighborhoods, often contributing to increased pollution and poor health outcomes. We see it in the trauma, of course, that is caused by gun violence. But we also saw it firsthand with the gross disinvestment that was intentional by previous administrations. And so beautiful neighborhoods like mine, the Austin neighborhood, has seen many health disparities, the lack of nutritious food, the lack of employment opportunity. The disinvestment in our communities have been intentional. And of course, that's why it's imperative that it is now the time to deliver good on reparations for people of Chicago, and particularly black people of the city of Chicago. Because even as I stand here today as mayor, the legacy of slavery and the aftermath still echoes today. We saw it when previous administrations sold off public assets. We saw the harm when previous administrations closed black schools and they shut down public housing, when they raided the pensions, these anti-black, anti-business endeavors that have caused tremendous harm and pain. But it's a new day. In fact, we are standing on the shoulders of one of the great leaders of this city, Dorothy Tillman, who laid the foundation and the groundwork to ignite a movement for reparations.
If y'all believe this shit, you just as the S word. Whoever believe in this crap, you just as the S word as he is. You guys tell me what the S word is. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. This fool gonna say previous administration divested in the community. No. Have you the time you spent as the mayor that has he done a year? Yeah, he's been in the office for a year. He took over mayorship in May of last year. So I think May or April, whatever it was. Since that time, you closed down so many community centers because of illegal immigrants. And you're talking about divesting in the community. You, by your hands, you divested in the community. You took away money from civil services or, community services to invest in illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. You, by your hands, Mayor Brandon Johnson, not by nobody else's hands. We're just talking about just the year that you've been in office. You single-handedly ruined, I think it was $300 million that it's not really accounted for. And then you had the nerve to go back to the federal government to ask for more because of the crisis that you did not ask for. Can anybody tell me, have they even built a temporary shelter for the illegal immigrants after they signed a $90,000 a month lease on the land that was polluted? Where's all that money going to? We already did a study, well, I guess pulled the numbers up, that they spend $6,000 a month on or a year on healthcare for each illegal immigrant. $6,000 a year for each illegal immigrant for healthcare. And some people in Chicago don't even get insurance. Can't even get insurance. But you spend $6,000 a year on each illegal immigrant. Another $10,000 a month on services and other housing and other things. It might be, I think it was like $5,000 a month. 10,000 is a little inflated, but 5,000 a month. Some people in Chicago don't even make 5,000 a month a year. Or, 60,000 a year. That's above the national average income. So you single-handedly, and you're talking about prior administration. And then you had the nerve to say, hey, gun violence. Did you guys know on Monday they had 67 people shot in Chicago? That's the report. 67 people were shot in Chicago overnight on Monday. And you want to get rid of that shot getter system or shot spotter system because you said it's not doing any good. The technology to help pinpoint where the suspect is or where the shot rings out before the police get called, so you'll be able to find the victim. You want to get rid of that. So what are you talking about divesting the community? You're single-handedly divesting in the community.
It was Dorothy Tillman that introduced me to Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. And it is why my administration is committed to driving reparations home. And we're going to invest $500,000 into the study of restoration and reparations for the city of Chicago so that we can begin to move in the direction of complete liberation. And that's why, with the help and the support of the Black Caucus, we have a brand new Office of Reentry, added $5 million to make sure that the formerly incarcerated find jobs and housing and counseling and the full support that they need.
That was 2 minutes
Chicago's
of torture. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes of torture. Okay, and so if we go back to his reparation scam. I'm laughing because it's a scam. It's a ploy to get people like, Oh, Brandon Johnson believes in reparations. Let me vote for him. That's what I say. If you believe that, you just ass. You just ass. You believe this crap. This is the plague. I guess executive order. This is an executive order. It says Mayor Brandon Johnson signs historic executive order to launch a Black reparation task force and agenda. History is repeating itself. Like literally 2 to 3 years ago, they launched the task force in Sacramento. What is it? San Francisco. San Francisco. Ahead of Juneteenth. This is what they all say. All politicians said that Brandon Johnson trying to get his base back. Oh, I believe in the Black community. Remember those other guys divested in the community. I'm trying to reinvest because I believe in reparations. Reparations task force to develop the Black reparations agenda. This is what it says. Develop the Black reparations agenda. This task force is an example of administration dedication to co-governance, and in partnership with member of the Aldermanic Black Caucus, the Mayor Office of Equality or Equity and Racial Justice, and Business, Economic, and Neighborhood Development, and other key city departments will conduct comprehensive study and examination of all policies that have harmed Black Chicagoans from slavery era to present day. You had your hand in the pot. What policies have you put forth or inactions have you made that cause harm to the Black community? A lot of them. Don't demonize the kids. That's one policy. You, I guess, commanding your police force to go easy or light on the kids, and when they are demons, they some of these kids should be locked up, and they don't lock them up. They just let them go. Slap on. I don't even think they give them a slap on the wrist. They just let them go. You guys don't enforce no policy to go to school. Your school is subpar. There's no standard at the school. So why the hell would I go to school if I ain't learning nothing? So of course I'm going to be out in the street. Anyway, today's executive order is not just a public declaration. Yes, it is. It's a pledge to shape the future of our city by confronting the legacy of inequality that has plagued Chicago far too long, Mayor Brandon Johnson said. In partnership with the Black Caucus, blah, 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 we continue to build on the bedrock of my administration. What bedrock? Brandon Johnson reminds me of my kids. You have to give them step-by-step directive so they can complete a task. But these are 8-year-olds, 8 and 10-year-olds. So what foundation, what kind of foundation do you have? You're talking about bedrock. I don't know if it's a bedrock. It might be a marshmallow. Like, what kind of foundation are you talking about? I don't know. You building on some crap. And it says move forward in reconciliation through targeted investment aimed to rectify decades of deliberate disinvestment of the Black neighborhoods and communities. These decisive actions move us beyond the words and are the testament to my administration taking on responsibilities to this work. Thank you for all of your unwavering dedication that has brought us to the pivotal point or pivotal movement toward a more just and equitable Chicago for all. It says, within the executive order, Mayor Johnson's acknowledged the legacy of chattel slavery and Jim Crow laws as incompatible with the values and principles recognized in the city of Chicago's equity statements of principle. A city where there is fair and just access to opportunity and resources. Okay, so this task force, this is what they're trying to implement. Create a city of Chicago definition of fair framework reparations. Develop tools to build capacity within the city of Chicago and the public for reparations. Do you understand? This is just another study for someone to say, "Oh yeah, we deserve about $5 million. Every descendant of slave deserve about $5 million a piece," and then they're gonna say, "Oh hell to the no." But what they're gonna do is they're gonna say hell to the no to you, and they still gonna fund these wars that they got going on. Ukraine, Israel, and Hamas. You know, we might be starting a war with Iran. You know, all those wars that we have no business meddling in. But they're gonna fund that. And it's talking about whole public hearings, conduct a comprehensive study, gather narratives for Black people, lives experience. We tired of that shit. You guys, am I the only one? We don't want to hear this. We don't care. We just want to make sure that our children are taught correctly, and they are get the competitive edge over the next person. We want our children to be able to make sure they're productive members of society. Not study on okay, we know there was slavery, we know there was redlining, blah blah blah. We don't care about the amount. All we care is about what are you doing now. The government is not going to give you a check. I'm sorry. And he mentioned Dr. Claude Anderson. He must then read Power and Economics or Powernomics. Has nothing to do with reparations. It talks about having a closed system, sustainable system, and that you won't have to depend on the government. And it gives you steps of what you should be doing and what type of entities you have to have a sustainable, I guess, community or city or town that's totally independent. That has nothing to do with the government. This is and Dr. Claude Anderson. Now maybe he does have a book about reparations, but I ain't never read it. I'm talking about Powernomics. Anyway. He's investing $500,000 investment towards the study of reparations restoration committed to the city 2014 fiscal year budget. You just wasting your money. And remember, I don't know if you guys seen some of those hearings at San Francisco. I think it was San Francisco, right? When the Black people got together, they was arguing about the amount and all that bullshit. Like, you arguing about the amount. Can't agree on anything. When Ice Cube developed the Black Plan, it was him and some other people, some other people in Congress. They developed this plan. But Ice Cube, he developed a plan. He tried to get with Joe Biden and his people. They didn't want to talk to him. So I don't know if he directly talked to Donald Trump people, but they were in talks with Ice Cube, and they got mad at him because Ice Cube said he was willing to talk to anybody. The black folks got mad. You remember the black ladies? What's her name? They used to date 50 Cent. Lisa Ray, the lady that used to date 50 Cent, and that other lady. Oh, I guess you would call them elderly now, because I think old girl is like 60, in her 60s. But they were mad at Ice Cube because he didn't have a separate portion for black women. Are you serious? Are you black or are you not black? So that I can see that's where this is going. They ain't gonna agree on nothing. It's just a waste of money. You're wasting money to study something that's already been studied. And something to say, oh, well, think about it. Because the number is gonna be astronomical. It's gonna be stupid. And then you think that people, these are white Americans. White Americans, they ain't never owned no slaves. Why should I put in on reparations? You take some of my taxes towards reparation. I got to pay a reparation tax bill. I ain't never owned no slaves. They gonna be like, I ain't never owned no slaves. We don't even have no property. So what are you talking about? How are they gonna divide it? And I think if you really think about it, if you want to get really serious about reparations, you need to include Africa. Africa, they need to go to the United Nations. Africa, and some of those regions that sold people off, Africans off, and they need to pay part of the reparations. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I mean, come on, let's get real. They sold their own people. They wouldn't have came over there if they wasn't willing to sell their own people and capture other tribes per se and sell them off. That's how that whole slavery thing exists. Well, the black slave trade, and everyone was a slave at one point in time. Anyway, that's enough about reparations. I'm tired of talking about it. So I guess he's trying to get his popularity back. And what more trick can you do for black people? Because I don't know why we always fall for it. Oh, he's talking about reparations. I'm gonna get some free money. Like, come on. I'm gonna get some free money. Anyway, Vivica Fox. Thank you, Kevin. Vivica A. Fox. And now she talking about, oh, I'm ready to settle down. If you don't sit your old ass down, you was fine back in the day. Now you looking all blown up like you got some type of heart disease problem, blood pressure problem, because her face is all blown up. And now you want to settle down. And then you get mad at Ice Cube because he created this plan. I think it was an excellent plan, and they was mad at him because he didn't have a section that called Black Woman. Well, it's the Black Plan, woman. What are you talking about? Vote for free money, the Democrat way. Vote for the free money. Vote for the free money. Anyway, I got off track. So that's what's his name? Brandon Johnson plan. He wants to champion reparations. I think that's so he could get his ratings back up. Now, Joe Biden is sinking in the polls. This is sad to see. This is really sad to see. And I'm not a fan of Joe Biden or anything like that, but it's just sad to see that the American people elected somebody like Joe Biden, and he's going downhill, and they're still championing Joe Biden. It's been countless of videos of Joe Biden looking like, what the hell is going on? And I still see on my feed, oh, I'm going to vote blue no matter what. Like, You notice I'm doing that voice because it's a cartoon voice and it sounds ridiculous. I'm going to vote blue no matter what. That's, if you don't vote blue, it ain't for you. Like, come on now, you got to vote blue, no matter what, and you sound like a damn fool. This is Joe Biden. Now you have Joe Biden here with Barack Obama and Jack Black. Jack Black, he made a song because he's voting for Joe Biden too. They're pulling out all the stops. This was over the Juneteenth. Juneteenth, I got to turn the music off so I won't get demonetized. But Juneteenth, this is Joe Biden looking like, oh my God, look at all those black folks. And this guy is awkward. I don't know who this is. Look at him. He put his arm around Joe Biden. This is so sad. This is sad. What song was they listening to? So they listen to Kirk Franklin. Everybody's moving, and Joe Biden like, where am I? There's a lot of black folks around here. That's what Joe Biden. Oh my God, black folks could sing like that. And look at this fool. This guy right here. What's his name? Billy Porter. Stop it with the madness. Who told you to show up with a sequins dress on outside in probably 90-degree weather? They probably told him, you know, wear your Sunday best. You know, he looks a mess. He's not even Billy Porter. I don't think he's even a transgender. He just be doing whatever. Oh, I'm going to put on a sparkly dress. You're not even a transgender. I mean, you don't even try to look like a woman. And I don't think he wants to look like a woman, but why are you wearing this dress? Why do you have this on? This looks ridiculous. And then you got Doug Emhoff, or what's his name? David Emhoff or Doug Emhoff, Kamala's husband. He like, and Kamala Harris like, oh yeah, because I went to Howard University. I'm an it girl. I'm popular because I'm black. Like that's how she looks to me. Like she's a champion for all the black women. And Joe Biden like, yeah, put it here, sport. Yeah. And who is this fool? I need for these people to come out. Anybody that had interaction with Joe Biden in the last 90 days, you need to come out and just give us the real truth about Joe Biden's mental state. You know, you're visiting grandpa, great grandpa at this point. He's like not here. Grandpa Joe is not here in 2024. He's not nowhere in this this region. He's not in this atmosphere. He's nowhere in planet Earth. He's not even in this universe. He's in some other multi-universe. Anyway, so that's Joe Biden. Somebody put, well, this is Travis on his X page. The longer you watch, the crazier the video gets. Kamala teaching her white husband how to dance, him trying to fit in, Biden being frozen, the man in the dress. This video is wild. That's what I just said. I didn't even read this caption, but that's what I just said. This is some crazy video. What is this? What the hell is going on? What is going on? This is funny.
Ukraine in
This
a
is funny.
single. Joe Biden has done more for Ukraine in a single term than he's done for America in 50 years.
That is 100% correct statement. Now, I did want to show this. This is very important to see. This is reported on CNN. They're saying American Choice poll in 2024 campaign, Trump campaign launch Black Americans for Trump coalition.
20.
And these are the polls, the ratings, or I guess
look at where it is.
The surveys that they took out. Back in 2020, Biden held 86% of the vote, Black votes. 86%. In 2024, he lost almost 20% of the vote.
Now it's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground, it's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades. Look at black voters under the age of 50. Holy cow, folks. Holy cow. Look at this. Joe Biden was up by 80 points among this group back at this point in 2020. Look at where that margin has careened down towards. It's now just, get this, 37 points. That lead has dropped by more than half, Mr. Berman. I just never seen anything like this. I'm like speechless, because you always look at history and you go, okay, this is a historic moment. If this polling is anywhere near correct, we are looking at a historic moment right now where black voters under the age of 50, which have historically been such a big part of the Democratic coalition, are leaving it in droves. If we add Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to this, look at where Joe Biden drops to. Less than half the vote among black voters. Less than half the vote among black voters. John, I never thought I would see something like this.
If President Trump doesn't win by a landslide, it was rigged. Polls don't lie. We gotta say it's a margin of plus or minus 5%, but polls do not lie that much. We could say plus or minus 5%. We know it was rigged if Biden wins. If Trump does not secure the election, we know it was rigged. Because you can't win without the black vote. You just can't. And Latino vote. Latino, I wish they would poll Latinos, but Latinos probably higher favor Trump than the 23% than the black vote. So I think, like I said, I think it's sad to watch, not because the demise of Joe Biden. I think just the decline of his health, and people are still backing this man like nothing is wrong with him. What does it say about Americans? You're just so emotionally charged, or just, I'm just gonna, hey, I voted this way all the time. I'm really searching for the answer, because right now it doesn't make no sense. You see time after time on videos, news media, social media. If you have eyeballs and you follow some politics, you probably see Joe Biden wandering around aimlessly, looking around. The crowd is facing this way. He's looking over here, watching the birds fly. It doesn't make any sense. And you still have people supporting him. It's like, damn the country. We don't want we want a leader that's not coherent, that has dementia, because we don't care about the country. That's what I see. That's how I look at it. You really don't care about the country. You hate one person so much, you really don't care about your country and what the future holds for the country. Because you rather elect a person that's not sound and let them run the country, or whoever's pulling the strings, than to a person maybe you don't agree on everything, but he's of a sound mind. Anyway, Samuel Matthews, I was saying earlier, the media tries to say he is sharp as ever, and they always using sharp. He's sharp as ever. He's sharp as ever. Your girl Karine,
Look at
what's her Karine Jean Pierre? She blames that somebody doing deep fake. This is fake. Unbelievable. Karine Jean Pierre is blaming deep fakes for all the videos going around exposing how old, feeble, and senile Joe Biden looks anytime he steps out into public. The sums up the White House comms strategy is one video. Don't believe your eyes.
Performance in office, and what I ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. Instead of,
we're not in Normandy. We didn't see no Italy video or whatever she talking about. We're talking about this happened in the U.S. This is in the U.S. Kirk Franklin was on the White House line at the Juneteenth celebration, and you got Joe Biden in the front row, not even clapping. He ain't even moving. Not even moving. That's the U.S. What are you talking about, lady? And what does the Republican Party have to do with Normandy? Nothing. Nothing. We don't control their news over there.
Of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos, and it is, again, done in bad faith.
This was a bad take, and this video is not going to age well. I think they should do a test on Joe Biden, and it should be known public, a health test. Hey, you are suffering something. Mitch McConnell, did Mitch McConnell ever retire? I can't remember. Remember, he was freezing up a lot. Mitch McConnell was freezing up a lot, and he's 82. I know he's not running for re-election. He will step down as the Republican leader. He is retiring, or he announced his retirement. I probably covered it. I couldn't remember if I covered it or not. The same with him. He's the Republican Party. He needs to retire. You freezing up in public. You losing your train of thought. What's going on here? You passing out. Dianne Feinstein, she died in office. We need to stop that. Move. I think there should be some term limits. It will probably stop a lot of corruption, and then you need to train the younger people to take over. Move over. You shouldn't be dying in office. Just like Joe Biden, he probably would die in office if he's elected. Anyway, so that's her crap that she wants to say. Oh, it's deep fakes. No, it's not deep fakes. It's the news. These are regular TV programs or videos that people showed of Joe Biden don't know what the hell is going on. So cut it out. Stop it with the madness. Look at him. Joe Biden.
Or mentally confused. I'm
They way over here. You going over there.
wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are.
They telling her, oh no, you saying what's up to the trees? They like, no, we are over here, sir. Like, come on now. Anytime you got to usher, that's not even his wife. Somebody got to tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, we're over here. What are you looking at? Those are not people over there. You supposed to be, this is the crowd over here.
They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have.
And she tried to say that they didn't. What's his name? Obama didn't usher him off the stage. You're not even waving to nobody because you don't know what the fuck is going on. Excuse my language. You don't know what's going on. You just, everybody else is waving and you like drooling. Anyway, it's like I said, it's sad. This is sad, and we still have idiots or the S people supporting this madness. So you guys put in chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Yeah, she said deep fakes. They all need to go. They don't want you to believe your own eyes. Yeah, so they're gonna say, "Oh, this is AI generated. He didn't do that." On every single video, all the videos is deep fakes. All the videos are all the news media. These are independent news programs, and everybody changed them up to say, "Oh, Biden is freezing up." Come on now. Steven said, "I like it when you be cursing." I get so upset. I try not to curse. I really try not to curse because I don't want my kids to start cursing because they crack up when I say a bad word. They think it's funny. But it makes me so mad. You get this. This is just it's really ridiculous to me that people are just not thinking. Like, oh, it's deep fake. Joe Biden he's strong and he's charismatic. He's full of life. Like, no, he's not. He's dead. He got one foot on the grave and the other foot on the banana peel. He's about to fall in there. He's about to fall in his grave. So let's get him out of office. He needs to go. He needs to go. Anyway, my last story I want to talk about, it might not be my last story. I got two more stories I want to talk about. This first story is just Donald Trump. He was in Detroit, and some people are kind of upset that he went to a black church. Number one, some other people are upset. Well, there's a lot of white people there at the black church. Well, it's okay for white people to join in at the black church. This is not segregation. You guys want to segregate. Oh, this is a black church, so only black people could come? Like, come on now. It's like totally ridiculous. This is church, okay? But he showed up, and he had a really nice turnout. And one, I just want to show The pastor. Byron Donalds posted this. He said, Detroit pastor Lorenzo Sewell Democrats are taking our vote for granted. They have led our community for 56 years. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be logical. You just have to see. Ray Charles could even see their policies are failing our communities.
Pastor, does that poll, the 21% number, surprise you?
The reason why it doesn't surprise me, because the Democrats, they have taken our vote for granted. The Democrats, they have led our community for 56 years. We have a $2.7 billion budget, but yet no change. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be logical. You just have to see. Ray Charles could see that their policies are failing our communities.
Pastor, does that poll, the 21%?
So, yeah, Ray Charles could see that, the Black communities are failing. We're suffering tremendously. And I talk about education, the policies with their education system or the public educational system. It really failed our children. Like over the last 20 years, I could say that our kids, we failed our children. And it's sad. And that's what we're seeing. These 18-year-old children, 17, 18-year-old children, they're lost. They can't read. Half of them, doing some crimes because they don't got nothing else to do. So yeah, the policies, it's been really failing us. This is another one. Now, Charlie Kirk put this on his. He said a Detroit community leader says he's still angered by Joe Biden's disgraceful withdrawal from Afghanistan, and then drops an incredible one-liner. President Trump, please allow our soldiers to walk around don't allow our soldiers to walk around wearing red high heel shoes. I don't know if you guys remember, they did a whole Judiciary Committee hearing about the Navy and other military forces, where they had this drag night. They're hiring, or not even hiring, promoting drag influencers that actually are enlisted in the Navy, and they're trying to get people to join. Your enrollment is down, so you put a drag influencer up and say, "Oh, look what I could do in the Navy." Like what the hell? Look what we do on the ships. Like, no, that's not gonna make a boy say, "Oh yeah, I want to be tough." No, okay, if I want to be flaming, yeah, I want to. That's probably where I want to go. But no, if I want to be tough and get my manly on, get a challenge, I'm not going to join the Navy if I see a drag queen. Like, no, that's the last place I want to go. Anyway, so this is him.
I look at how Joe Biden became the president and allowed Afghanistan to collapse and allowed our soldiers to die it angers me. And we had a president who loved our soldiers, and we need to put our president back in office. And I just want to know, President Trump, please don't allow our soldiers to walk around wearing red high heel shoes.
Thank you, fellas.
Everybody's excited over that one. Not, I think it's funny, but it's like, okay, yeah, it's funny, but it's really not funny. Like, you literally have to ask that. Oh, don't allow them to walk around in red high heel shoes. Like, it's crazy of the ass that we got to do. Like, is that on the top of your list of what you want the president not to do? Anyway, so Biden, he's failing, in Trump, he is leading in the polls. I mean, all the way around. They didn't show a general poll, but this is just black voters. Okay. My last story that I wanted to talk about is I came across. Do I want to talk about this? Yeah, I came across this Daily Wire post, and this is off of Chicago Union Teacher President Stacey Davis. Remember, I talked about her before. Stacey Davis Gates. She is one of those people that she believe in, like, race baiting. She has this $200,000 salary. She's trying to increase her salary, all the while where most of her schools in Chicago are failing. They can't pass reading level proficient. They're not proficient at their grade reading level. Like 80% of the children are failing from 3rd grade all the way to 8th grade. They're not proficient in math. So she wants to increase her salary, but she gets on, I guess she was on a radio show, and they had a recording saying conservatives don't even want black children to be able to read. This is the narrative that they push. But you got to remember, you guys, most Republicans, I don't know about all, but it is a general consensus that they believe in school choice. That's a Republican thing. And most Democrats don't believe in school choice because they feel like those dollars are taken away from the schools that actually need it. But you're poor performing. Now she gets more money per capita. Her schools get about 22,000. Some of her schools get about 26,000. It doesn't matter how much they get, they still poor performing. So you don't believe in open choice schools because you don't believe that you don't want to give the parents the power to find a school that could really teach their kid. And you go on to say conservatives don't want black kids to read. No, apparently you don't want black kids to read, write, or do arithmetic. This is the snippet.
Children who, I'll take care of the conservative argument. Number one, conservatives don't even want black children to be able to read. Remember, these same conservatives are the conservatives who probably would have been championing black codes, during Reconstruction or thereafter. So forgive me again if conservatives pushing back on educating immigrant children, black children, children who live in poverty, doesn't make my anxiety go up. That's what they're supposed to say. That is literally a part of the oath that they take to be right wing.
This is a conundrum, and she's a word salad. Conservatives or Republicans or whatever, they very much agree. If you're a black child, an American child, they want you to have access to education and healthcare. You know who they don't want to have access to free education? The person that's not supposed to be here, that illegal immigrant. That's the whole gripe about these illegal immigrants, is because they have access to more resources to people that are actually Americans. Do you want Black children to read? Because if you did, you would set a bar. You would say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm teachers union. We're going to, all these poor performing schools, we're going to make sure that the principal and whoever will not be the principal. We're going to replace them. We're going to change all these people out, even administration. We're going to change you out, because if your school is under X, if you don't bring it up by 10% each and every year, we're going to start changing you out. And you need to prove to people that you really believe what you're saying. You're talking about the conservatives or these Republicans that they don't want Black people to read or Black children to read, but you're doing it to your own people. You've been the leader for about 5 years now, and you've been failing for all the 5 years. So it really irritates me, because we always have it's either a Black woman, saying some type of racism about, hey, conservatives or Republicans, they're against, us, but you have the power to change your city educational system, and you're not doing that. You're year after year, your kids perform the lowest nationwide. And we could say all these other inner city schools, Detroit, probably St. Louis, Baltimore. We saw Baltimore is horrible. But these people, they have Black administrations over them, and they're the poorest performing schools. And it's not money, because they get more per capita per kid. And they're the poorest performing schools. So what is it? And you can't tell me our children is stupid. When you have that one, it was a Catholic school. It was an all-girls Catholic school, and it was predominantly Black. And every single last one of them got accepted into a prestigious college. So you can't tell me it's their brain capacity or something wrong with them. No, it's something wrong with you. You're supposed to be the leader. Anyway. In my mind, the best depiction of MAGA is any Norman Rockwell painting. I guess I skated with when I joined the Republican Party. I don't remember taking that oath. I don't remember taking that. I love Norman Rockwell. Me too. They have some nice paintings. Not Lexi and Jill should go to prison for elder abuse. I hear water again. That's my I'm growing I got a grow plant. I forgot to turn it off. But you guys yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I really appreciate every single last one of you guys. Tomorrow I think we're going to talk about Flint, but I just got to get my ducks in a row. So we'll be talking about Flint and something else. I'm pretty sure something else that's going to be happening, exciting for us to talk about. So yeah, stay tuned tomorrow. You guys remember that Chawanne Burns 2.0. Go over there to subscribe to that channel. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Yeah, here it is. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't subscribed to that already. And I'm sending all my good to you. I'll talk to you soon.